like some death shroud I'm taking off. It's just a thing. So anyway, I started putting together this project called I Must Be Dead, thinking that you would only get to hear this if I had died, but I'm still kicking. But I didn't have anything else to read you, so I must be dead. And such that all these things are subject to change. However, if one is to avoid paying lawyers, figuring out one's death takes some kinds of planning, even if it won't hold up in court or hold any water. So here I begin to write my wishes, as of today, for my things, my body, my spirits, and my memory. I must be dead. Otherwise I would assume that you're not here. You ought to be out doing something of greater value, like learning to play an instrument. Don't make the mistake that I've made of never learning one. You see, it's one of my greatest regrets. And though, while I did try, I could never really find the patience. But this is supposed to be about you, and what you ought to be doing, and which is not sitting in this spot reading or hearing these silly words of a silly man/boy trapped in life's disease. Insert the cause of death here. I wish I had some kind of meaningful thing to say. Something that you could take along as though you had a to-go cup. But I don't. Just some wishes that I'm sure you're going to think are self-indulgent. You probably aren't even really listening. That's okay. I'm not here either. Things for the trash, recycling, donation bin, or otherwise forgotten piles. Shoes. Clothes. Textbooks. Trash, recycling, donations, and forgotten piles, collections of cell phones, toothbrushes, playing cards, bank statements. Trust me about the bank statements, don't even look. Stolen, United States Postal Service carrying boxes that I used in the garden that might have dirt stains, trivets, pot holders, assorted cleaning supplies and toiletries, conference papers, terms, papers, tests, quizzes from all ages and grades, and I promise that my mother has them from kindergarten, so just trash them. Old lists, bags of hair, stacks of legal pads, Mardi Gras beads, refrigerator contents, hat collection, every journal I ever began and never filled, which is all of them. All the unicorns, which includes figurines, paintings, doilies, needlepoint canvases, and all other accoutrements, calendars, found furniture, boxes, indeterminate cables, blank CDs, tapes, flash drives, like the journals, pens and pencils, my beard, and all the liquor, beer, and wine left over, which I hope there's not.
Yeah, you're right.
This is a conversation on the toilet. I have a hard time with everyone's death but my own. I cry long, fat tears. They roll down my face at the gravesite, in the church, at the Kiwanis Hall, or a parlor, or even all the thought of the musty emotion brings a little stutter to my chest. But since I'm a child, I've been talking about myself and to myself about my own death, and most of that happened on the toilet. There's something especially existential about shitting. I imagine it's a place where you can think about what it's like to be dead, to have people talking about you, to hear or not hear what they're saying. And I've always kind of suspected that they're going to be nicer than I want them to be, even though that I know that I write it all out for them. But not like this, in the process of my living. I am a liar. I am. But I like to think that it's in some kind of like kitsch, postmodern way. So I often tell stories that other people have told me as though they are my own. Which as a 6-year-old boy becomes obvious when you steal from your father. But as a 28-year-old boy, it gets more complicated, though I still think it feels kind of obvious. I don't think of it as stealing or lying necessarily. It's more like acknowledging that we're all connected to some kind of great system of wires or strings, and we call it collective memory now. It's a giving in to the fact that there's no absolute truth. And like language, all stories are arbitrary. Though some help in the getting laid part of existence more than others.